important things to be talking about today. First up, on my right, I have the beautiful Elodia, who is also a fashion designer. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you, Clarice.
All right, and on my left, I have the young and dynamic Gansi Betsy. You're welcome to the show this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. All right, let's just have a commercial break. When we come back, we'll move straight to our topic for the day and discuss more. Commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for sitting there and watching us here at the RTA television on the program Let's Talk this afternoon. Now we are discussing something very important today, you know, very strong and very quite important in the Cameroonian sector and of course in the world, and that's to fight against, you know, violence against children, and that was launched today by the Ministry of Women Empowerment and Family in collaboration with Plan Cameroon and also with the Ministry of Basic Education under the patronage of the Human Rights and Freedoms Commission. And I'm joined this afternoon with this beautiful young Cameroonians. Together, let's talk about this. Now, Elodia, let me ask you first. When we talk about violence against children, what can you say about that?
Well, violence against children, for example, nowadays we hear of people, older men, raping little kids. I think that's really outrageous right now. There's so many other things like children being kidnapped. That's which is really rampant now in the society. And even violent flogging of children. I think all of these points should actually be taken into consideration.
The reason really be taken into consideration, the reason why this launch has been done today in Yaoundé is to fight against all this, you know, all these mishaps in our society. Let me come to you, Betsy. Betsy, you are the president for
the National Children and Youth Advisory Board.
Okay, National Children and Youth Advisory Board. I wanted to get that correct. And Betsy, you are young, quite young and quite dynamic, quite bold. And tell us why you had so much interest in this field.
From my first experience as a youth under Plan Cameroon, I was like a dynamic youth that Plan saw that the activities we were carrying out with them were very important. So we cited violence against children as one of our main mishaps in the society.
Why?
That is because from statistics that we collected from the regions in Cameroon where Plan works, it shows that most children suffer today because their rights are being violated. So we took it that violence against children is a necessity. We need to fight that as a necessity in Cameroon. So we identified it as a problem, and Plan Cameroon supported us to look for a cure for it. That is when we came with this coalition, the National Children and Youth Advisory Board in Cameroon and other African countries.
And you were selected as a president. How was that for you? I mean, how did it come up to the extent where you were being selected to fight as a president for that board?
Firstly, it was first of all a surprising issue that I was first of all selected at the level of the Northwest by my friends to represent them here in Yaoundé, alongside
your friends from school or maybe a social group or
in another project that a plan sponsored project rather, Yetam project.
Let me cut you short. How does one get into the plan project? How does, if I want, I say I'm interested and I want to get into it, how do I go about it?
Alright, Plan came to various schools in the Northwest. By that time I was schooling in GBHS Ndop, and so they introduced the Yetam project, and the school chose other members of active clubs, like I was in the journalism club. So the school chose me and we entered the project. We were 60 of us at the start. So when we took the first training from Plan, we became youths under Plan working with the Yetam project. We recorded a lot of success stories there that were asked in the next phase of the program to select an issue that's affecting children. Then we selected the violence against children as an issue. there I was like selected by the youths in DOP to represent them here in Yaoundé as a member of this board. So when we came up here, it was rather surprising that all the members of the other board are Francophones, and me as an Anglophone, I was selected by them to be their president.
Wow, very well said. Eloisa, you could get from how she's talking with so much courage, so much boldness. Let me come to you. Have you ever been in a situation where you find out that someone is violating a child, or children's rights are being violated where maybe in a particular locality?
Sincerely, I've really not been in a situation or in a place where I've had to experience that. Yeah, so.
Okay, but you kind of like have ideas on certain things that are going on in the society about violence done on children, because while we went for the coverage of this launch, the president of the Human Rights Commission was there, spoke firmly about the fact that some parents really don't know how to correct the child, that they go beyond bounds. You beat up a child till she has scars on her body, wounds, and just unfortunate that in Africa, maybe in Cameroon, children don't really have the rights, or maybe they don't have the opportunity to call maybe the military or men of forces in order to come and help them. And so some of these things, they really ponder really on the minds of young children. And we are also fighting as Cameroonians and a major nation to make sure that we have respectable and responsible children back in the future to come. All right, we did a little report on this particular issue on the launch, so let's go and watch what this report was all about. Let's have this transition.
International Human Rights Day, the National Freedom, alongside the Ministry of Women Empowerment and Family, Ministry of Basic Education and Plan Cameroon, officially launched the National Children and Youth Adversary for the fight against violence done on children. Speaking at the ceremony, the Human Rights President brought out the need for children's right to be respected and for parents and guardians to help children so that they can be free from all sorts of violence from the society. Also, he made mention of the presence of other national and international bodies such as UNICEF, World Vision and Save the Children, who are also in full support so as to join this fight.
Special, very special, because you cannot, you can't imagine a situation where strangers mourn more than the bereaved. So it concerns the rights of children. And when you find children and youth, dynamic children and youth coming together with all the energy, we hope, we really think that if they are properly educated, they will be able to in turn lead other children to join in the fight and fight effectively against violence against children.
On her part, the president of the National Children and Youth Advisory Board, Gansi Betsy, threw more light on the need for the fight due to the fact that dreams and visions of youth and children are shattered each and every day. The reason why 16 members of the board from the 6 regions of Cameroon, meeting with other 12 countries from Africa, came together in Ghana so as to join heads in fighting against violence done on children.
We as a board, we identified issues that are commonly affecting children. Under violence against children, we had issues like female genital mutilation, we had domestic violence, violence in school, we had early and forceful marriages. All of these were all acts that we considered to be violating children's rights. So we took it that when we will have this training, we'll go back to our various regions and we'll be meeting here in Yaoundé to be presenting reports of the activities we are carrying out in our various regions in Cameroon, so that we present it. And finally, we will take now the national reports that we are going to get here. We are also in coalition with other African countries like Senegal, Togo. There are 13 countries in Africa handling this back program. We just met in Ghana 3 months ago. So we will take the activities, the reports we are getting from here, we go into the regional board, but the regional board now was formed in Ghana with the other youths of the other country, and that's how we get to be spreading the news in the world.
Given the fact that over 40 million children are abused worldwide each and every year, is with no doubt why the launch has come to help deteriorate violence done on children so as to uphold a bright and great future for Cameroon and the world. 2 days after the writer
video Welcome back to that from that report. Betsy, you were really talking there about the fact that you guys, 16 of you from 6 regions of Cameroon, if I got that correctly, and also the fact that 13 African countries are all in the fight. And you also spoke about going to Ghana to talk about this. Did you actually go to Ghana?
Yeah, I was in Ghana from the 31st of August to the 7th of September.
Okay, so what are some of the things that were being discussed there?
Alright, in Ghana we met as the national board of each of our countries. The president and the vice of each of the countries met in Ghana from other countries. Ghana hosted us. So there we were like forming another regional board that would fight regionally, because Cameroon was the only Central African country represented there. The rest were West African countries. So we met there to re-identify other issues and to draw a plan on how we are going to be acting in our various countries. That was where we got some other trainings, and we also spoke with stakeholders concerning violence against children. We also had Marta Santos Pais. She's a UN Secretary General's representative on violence against children. So we had the opportunity to talk with her. We also had the opportunity to celebrate the Day of the Ghanaian Child with the Minister of Gender and Social Protection in Ghana, where the Ghanaians also identify violence against children as a major issue, and they were talking about early and forced marriage. It's not only in Cameroon.
It's not only in Cameroon, also in Ghana. All right, you must have moved a little bit in some parts of the nation. Let me ask you this. In what region do we really find this violence, or where is it so rampant? Is it equal everywhere?
No, it's not actually equal. Like from the northwest where I come from, domestic violence and the violence in school dominates. In the eastern region, child trafficking and genital mutilation dominates. In the littoral, even in the central, child trafficking also. So we met as a board, and they identified issues that were dominating in their regions. From statistics, that was how we got to know the various problems that are affecting the various regions of the country.
Okay, let me come to you, Alodia. What do you think are some of the measures, like if you were just asked to guess or maybe to suggest to the government, what do you think are some of the structures that should be put in place to help curb up some of these problems?
I think first of all there should be a planning committee, maybe a committee set in place whereby the children can actually report to at liberty, even without the parents maybe being aware of it. Because most children faced with this are actually limited in the fact that they are scared of their parents. And so even if a committee is set up and they have that knowledge, that consciousness that the parents are going to be aware of it, they get scared and they hold back. But I think if a committee is set into place where the student can easily go there and report whatsoever is disturbing them, whatsoever they're going through, and the committee can secretly or handle it, investigate the issue, and then meet the various people who are practicing these offenses and put them to correct them. Secondly, I also think in the case of child trafficking and all of this, that the police should be put into place. A police force, a police committee should be put into place to handle this specially, so that wherever, and especially with people who are influential, who are involved in all of this, because we are not ignorant of the fact that so many influential people could also be involved with this. So I think a committee, strict committee especially, should be put into place whereby all these can be regulated and checked out.
Very well said, very well said. Let me come back to you, Betsy. What are some of the structures that you guys have decided or sat upon and discussed maybe the minister with the directors maybe of Plan Cameroon, and to curb some of these problems? Because those were Elodia's own points of view, but we want to get what is really in place.
Alright, actually on Saturday we are yet to draw our action plan and to really identify the structures we want to put in place. But then for me, in my mind, for what I want to propose to the other colleagues, we just
first to get what you want.
Yes, actually. So for me, I really think that if the youth can work with the available stakeholders already, because there are other stakeholders put in place already, but they are not really taking right actions. Like the Ministry of Women and Social Protection, since we saw that the girl child is the most vulnerable in the society, mostly affected by all these ills. So we would like to work with the Ministry of Social and Gender Protection for them to take on more actions on how to handle social issues, especially rape for girls. They should like take further actions. Even the police, we need to work with them seriously. Okay, for other actions again that we can take, we wanted to like form a children's coalition to work with other NGOs that are out to like solve the problem of violence against children, because alongside Plan we also have the executive staff COCAD that is executing this violence against children project. We also have Save the Children, World Vision, UNICEF, all of them are parts of this coalition. So I think that working with them strongly and making it more international wide, we will have a success story at the end.
Very well said. Let me come back to you.
You said you guys are 16 of you right now from the 6 regions in Cameroon. So I want to ask, which are some of those regions that you guys are from?
All right, we have the Northwest region where I'm coming from. We have the center, we have the Eastern region, we have the far north, the north, and the Adamawa region.
Littoral.
Littoral, yes.
And littoral. That's 7.
Yes, there are 6. I guess. No, the littoral is not there.
Littoral.
Yes, because we have the Northwest, we have the East, we have the far north, the north, and the center. Yes.
So there's no littoral, there's no south?
There's no south.
Okay. And I want to really get to understand something here. Now, coming from these 6 regions, is it like when you guys come, like you're right here in Yaoundé now, after all this, you go back home, you go back to where you're coming from the region where you're coming from, each and every member, and continues in the fight, or how does it work?
Okay, before we're selected, like I said earlier on, all of us are members of a plan-sponsored project. That was how we got involved in the Violence Against Children project, because it was an identical issue that all of the regions suggested as a problem faced by many children. So we like...
So when you talk of plan-sponsored project, is it like it's Plan Cameroon that is sponsoring?
Plan Cameroon in Cameroon is sponsoring the project here. So that was how we got to be part of the program. So all of us that are in this coalition are members of other plan sponsored projects. Yes.
So everybody goes back and continues in doing one or two things.
We use the other youth. We are just regional representatives of our other friends. So we go back and we share the knowledge we have learned from here to them, and then we jointly carry out the activities and come back and meet here again as a board. We present the reports, then we take it now and we go now at the regional level. When I talk of the regional level, I mean with the other African countries. We get now to join the reports and see how far and how fast the problem is attacked.
Oh my God. And when we talk about going back, Pamenda is quite big, the Northwest region is quite big. And so is it like from every division from the Northwest region, there are like youths who are in the plan project or in the fight that you head, or I want to really understand?
Okay, the plan sponsored project is in parts of the divisions in the country, in the Northwest region. But when we want to carry our activities, we can take a month and we specify the particular divisions we want to do sensitization, want to carry out a particular activity in, so that we get to touch the whole part of it. So those in the Northwest, we are many of us. We are just 2 representatives here in Yaoundé, but we are actually many of us.
All right, Elodia, we really see that these youths are trying to make sure that these things are not continued in the society. Okay, let's leave a little bit about fight against children violence. Let's come a little bit about fashion. Okay, I believe you wear dresses, you look quite good, your makeup is nice and all that. And this year is a fashion designer who is quite young and quite eligible to also move with her dreams, because you spoke about the fact that due to these problems, youth, their dreams are being shattered each and every day, and that was really a good point from you. Okay, Elodia, let's come to you. Tell us a little bit, what do you think about the fashion industry in Cameroon?
Wow, the fashion industry in Cameroon is really growing. I see it in the future to be one of the biggest industries
in
Africa.
And why not the world?
Yeah, I believe it's going further, and that there's going to be a point where we're going to be competing with the world at large. So I really think that every designer in Cameroon is trying to grow. If you try to check out the statistics from one's collection to another one, you realize that there's a developing strategy being put into place. Everyone wants to get to that level where you can be recognized internationally. And so therefore I think that since every youth who is like in this field has ambitions and who has a driving force, I think we're going to make it to be the best.
Very well said, because you are fighting very strong. You're putting everything, your time, your money, your power into it, and I believe there are also thousands and thousands of youths out there who are doing the same that you're doing. So let's mix this up a little bit. You are a youth and children who are being violated. Like you said, some of them have dreams to be fashion designers, like Elodia here this afternoon. So tell me, what are some of the things that you tell them? Do you tell them that, okay, since you are being beaten every day at home, just forget about it? What do you tell them?
One lucky thing about the topic is that I like fashion designing.
Okay, all right.
I had always been diving through, even if not becoming one, but at least part-time, I would do something like that.
Okay.
All right, for the dreams of the children, we always like advise them, because I believe in my hopes have to be achieved no matter what the world say or what they think. I just believe that if I have a dream, I am going to fulfill my dream. So from all our sensitization talks, we always make sure we give so much hope to children. If you say you want to become a medical doctor tomorrow, you want to become a fashion designer tomorrow, you work for your dreams. The obstacles will be there. That is why I always believe in this saying. Destiny can only be delayed, but it can never be denied.
Away from you.
That is it.
And it leads me also to really want to like ask you, when you meet a parent or a guardian or someone violating a child who has a dream like this one, what do you tell to that person?
All right, from other sensitization talks that I've had with parents, there are many of them, but I will cite one like the one for early and forced marriages. We discovered that these people were ignorant. That was the highest problem they were facing before taking decisions that will hurt children, ignorance. So what we want to do now is that even though the parents are old and they are not educated, but we can educate their minds.
Right, educating their minds.
Their minds.
Okay. All right, let me come back to you, Elodia. So far, how has it been? How has the fight been for you as a young fashion designer? I know it's really dynamic out there. And why do you keep going? Why don't you just say, I give up, I'm tired? I know Cameroon very well. What keeps you pushing?
Well, we all know Cameroon very well. And the truth is, most youths are so much into the government. Everybody just wants to get into the government and all that. But I believe that we have potentials in us. And I believe that each youth has a vision to do something, notwithstanding even if you want to work at the government. I believe that most people have plans to work in the government, but they still have something in them that they can really take out. That therefore leaves me on the note like, I really cannot back out on this because it's my passion. It's what I love doing. It's my dream. It's my focus. And so therefore, I just cannot take it. I just cannot pull out of it. It's sometimes challenging, for example, because right now in Cameroon, designers are not so much recognized. Everybody just feels like, oh, I'm just
what are some of the designers that maybe you know that you can tell us?
Oh, I know of Smith Brown Fashion World. He's a male designer. I know of Amma Betran. He's a designer too. He deals with male and female stuff. And I also know of Ajubi Couture. She's also a female designer.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, with just a little bit of just a report too. Talking about the Ministry of Trade and Commerce, who also, launched and talked about the fact that Cameroonians should really get into the use of textile. And so it was a textile show where Asen Sieni had to do this report for us. So let's go and watch this transition.
Magua Barga Atangana preceded this morning the second edition of the textile show ceremony at the Yaoundé Multi-Purpose Complex. The ceremony was aimed at launching the activities of the 2013 textile show, which shall last for 4 days. At the program, debates, conferences, expositions, and runway show The minister at his opening allocation called on the apprentices to be devoted and assiduous during exchange with professionals from the fashion industries. Precision were also made on the economic importance of this sector. Stands visits and runway shows followed the minister's speech in the presence of some government members such as Catherine Bakambok and His Excellency Albert Roger Miller. Textile show thus makes her second footsteps in a society where the fashion industry is underdeveloped.
Okay, you watched that and listened from that from Asim Sini. That was the Minister of Trade and Commerce, who was trying to make sure that fashion designers should have a place. You know, when we talk about all these things, like you heard from that report, it's not only like for you to showcase yourself, because I believe in one way or the other you are developing the economy of the nation. Yeah. And so when you're designing, what are some of the fabrics that you use? Do you use Cameroonian fabrics like the ones that were being shown there?
Okay, when I'm designing, when we are designing, we use a wide range. It's true that, for example, we always try to boost Cameroonian materials and all that. Yes. So most often, we're going to use the Cameroonian textile and all that. Yeah, but added to that, because Cameroonians most often don't really value what they really have. And then second to that, the textile materials here are not that qualified. So I'm really happy that the ministry is actually taking this into consideration right now to develop it. Because if it's really developed, then we'll not be looking at the Nigerian materials and the Ghanaian materials. But we're going to focus on what we have and develop it. And that way our economy is going to go higher and further.
Wow. And let me come back to you, Betsy. You are a student, an opposite student from GBHS, no? Okay. And so when do you find the time? You know, they say all rich without playing make Jack a dull boy. That's why we also had to leave something very serious and come to talking about fashion and all that. When do you find the time to, like, you know, follow your passion? Because I see it as a passion. You're quite young and you really want to stop some of these things in the society. So when do you find the time, and when does the inspiration come from?
All right. I discovered that from Form 1, Form 2, I was like coming back from school, playing all the time because I lacked something to do. But from Form 3, when I got involved in the Yetam project with Plan, I discovered that during the holidays, I never had time to like lax behind playing awfully. I would even go out, we do sensitization talks, and I discovered that it was even building me the more.
When you got into the project, when you started, was it because you wanted to become a president like you are today, or what pushed you into it?
Alright, when the Yetam project started, Youth Empowerment Through Technology, Arts and Media, Yetam is just an abbreviation. It was like training us on things, how to use digital things like cameras and computers, and I had always loved to do computing. So I just like, when I heard of computers, I never wanted to hear any other thing again. I just got in and I discovered that far from the computer stuff, it was taking us to other things. So I just got interested in it, and we decided to just make ourselves acquainted to it. They just started calling us Yetam Youth, and we became youths from then, since Form 3. So when the activities of Plan are coming, sometimes it will be Wednesday after school, Friday after school. I just devoted the time that I told my parents. I said that I like this program, I like what they are out for, building the capacity of youth to take action in their various communities. I just like everything about it. And from all indications, my parents gave me the optimum support I needed. Like when I come back late from school, my mom would help and cook and things like that. I would just have time to rest and read. So with that, I discovered that partaking in this program will instead help me to manage time. If I know that I'm coming back from school at 2:30 and I have a planned project at 2:30 to 4, I do it, come back and rest for an hour, and I know I have to go back to book work because that is my main aim.
Talking about managing time, was that what led you into fashion designing and all this? Because I also know you are a student from the University of Yaoundé, SWA, reading law in your final year. So is this what you're saying? Is that what got you into what you're doing? You just wanted to burn out time and just say, let me just relax after so much school, you know?
No, actually, sincerely, that was not actually. You know, when you get to the university, you begin to think, like, what's the way forward? After this, what next? Yeah. So eventually, and since things are really so tough when you're a student, and I'm a student now, and I really don't have that much time instead. So managing time for me is very important because I must study and I must continue with that which I'm supposed to do. It's a passion in me and it's a desire, as I earlier said. And so irrespective of the time, I still keep doing it.
Still keep doing it and doing it with all love and all honesty with a difficult nation like ours. Okay, Betsy, let me ask you, do you guys organize social times or projects for the plan? Do you guys have times, or maybe you guys go maybe visit touristic areas and sit together to have more inspiration and talk, just relax a little bit?
Yes, after every tough activity, we like have time to relax. They can take us to a site where we can just take it as our own touristic site for relaxation, and there we can sit as youths. But then we are just discussing
the sites you guys have been to from Cameroon.
In Cameroon, we have Saboga in Bafut. Yes, and also the children, the handicap center in Bafut. We have also been there, but those were just.
Is this your first time being in Yaoundé?
No, it's not my first time being in Yaoundé. I've always been here.
But not under the plan.
I've been under the plan. Family issues just joined together.
So you guys have time where you go relax, and when you're relaxing, you still talk more about.
We can be discussing on what we had to do the next day or what has just passed, and then you discover that even in the relaxation we are just combining ideas, and the next day when the things are coming we are just giving out the ideas as if we planned them.
Oh my God. I like the way you are really talking, very bold and so courageous. Alodia, I know that you design dresses and bags and other things. Now let me ask you, how did your parents take this? How have they taken this? Have they been like, no, I want you to be the lawyer that you went to SWAT to become? Or how is it? Because that's what we are talking about, Betsy. Because violence is also psychological at times. When you want to do something and your parents are not helping you, they don't want you to do what you want to do. So how is it with you?
Well, from the beginning, my parents were like, come on, are you designing clothes to give it out to other people? Why not design and wear for yourself? Every parent always want the well-being too of the children.
Yes, that's true.
But with time, when my parents saw what I was putting in, all the efforts, the time, the energy and the money, they were like, okay, this is good, keep it up.
And they support you.
And they supported me.
Financially and otherwise. Oh my God. And that's what every parent out there needs to do. You need to see in the life of your child and try to call them together, talk some sense into them and push them forward with what they are going to, because that's what Cameroon is fighting for. Cameroon is really fighting for the awareness of parents and guardians and even teachers at times in school, because I've seen a situation where children are being violated in school, in the classroom, by a teacher. I know of a situation from the Southwest region where this kid, people who always want to go to school in the morning, his mother will prepare him a lunch box. So when he gets to school, the teacher will take and eat. Every time. And now there is something that children are very smart. They are very, very smart, and they can really see and get to understand things very fast. And he always sees that his mother will always take what they call aratabon, to kill the rats in the house and put in food for them to die. And that was what he did. He took it one day and put in his lunch food and took it to school. And when the madam he sat behind and told his friends that this madam will die today like a rat. Saying it out of ignorance like a child. And sincerely the woman died. She died. You understand? Now nothing can be done to this child because she doesn't know what he's doing. She didn't know what he's doing. And when you find yourself as a teacher or as a senior person doing something like that, you should know that you're handicapping that child and even yourself. Do you understand? You're handicapping that child and even yourself. And at times, the reason why they will say in most homes, in some homes today in Cameroon, unfortunately, children will prefer to rather stay in the street rather than staying back at home with their family. That's why we have street children. Do you guys also look on street children
Yes, that was the case with a program we handled in Ethiopia this past June. We had...
Man, you have traveled so much. I'm like jealous of you right now.
So there we had a session on the commemoration of the 23rd anniversary of the Day of the African Child. And so the Ethiopians, it was done at the African Union Congress Hall in Ethiopia. So there the Ethiopians, their main issue were the fight against the street children that were on their way. Believe me, it was horrible. Because the streets were full. You don't know what they are full of but children. So it was really a bad experience. And
we unfortunately have them too here in Cameroon. I don't know how many times I have talked about it in my programs. We have them so much. You know, the ministry is also fighting against these things, but unfortunately we keep seeing them on the streets. We keep seeing them, and I believe I want to say it comes with parental care or not having care for your children. Because I've been in a situation where a mother gets up in the morning, gets to work, you know, comes back home at night and goes to bed for like 1 week without seeing her child eyeballs to eyeballs. And it begins to create some sort of confusion in the mind of a child. And the child will be like, I want to leave. I want to go and stay where maybe I can really relax. Because it's rather unfortunate that most of these street children, when you meet them, tell them that I can give you anything you want. I can give you a comfortable life. They still want to remain in the street. Why? Why, Betsy? Can you tell us about some of the findings and maybe you guys must have done?
From the findings we got from most of the street children we met, most of them were orphans.
Okay, orphans.
That they were being maltreated by maybe a stepmother's cousin and things like that. So then to stand that type of maltreatment, they decided to go on the streets. So we discovered that even the act of persuading them to like go back and manage, they said they better manage on the streets and things like that. So we get now to see a situation where we need to work with the Ministry of Social Protection because at least I guess they can do something for the street children.
And it's really true, the Ministry of Social Affairs has been doing so much to make sure that children have been uplifted off the street, as was signed by a presidential decree by the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Paul Biya. Okay, let's just rush up a little bit. Let me come back to you, Elodia. Talking about the fashion industry and the fashion world, where we see even the ministry is getting into to make sure that it comes into a certain level. You know, Cameroon is an emerging nation. Cameroon really wants to emerge, especially by 2035. Cameroon must have want to attain a level of financial income, you know, social standards, everything. So the question I want to ask from you is, when you are in the field and you meet, are there other young people like yourself who really want to, you know, who are really so like pushful, say I want to do this no matter what?
Oh yes, I'm so grateful to God that the youth of Cameroon are beginning to see the light of the day. Yeah, so many people are beginning to think of doing extra things with their hands. For example, as in the designing industry now, there's so many...
The dress today wasn't done by you?
Oh yes.
Oh my God, it's looking good.
Thank you.
Okay.
So many people now are getting into this particular field. Many people younger than me, older than me, really want to do designing. And I think it's a great step and it's really progressing. Yeah. So I really encourage all youths to maybe find whatsoever it is that your hands can do and start doing it. It's not like most often people think like I must have the money to do it. But sincerely, most of us don't start that big. Yeah, because we all start as students and we're just using maybe the little allowance we'll get here and there to start up something.
And what is so interesting is the fact that before we used to know of tailoring, but now it's just changed to designing, meaning that it's not longer the way it used to be. It has moved, it has evolved. You really see it has really evolved. And that's why I remember sometimes we were here with bags. I can't believe that she designed good purses and bags that you can use for occasions. Is it quite expensive for you? And how do you cope? I know your parents like support you, but it's not easy. So how do you cope? Do people buy or, you know, things like that? Well, maybe you might even want to like send out maybe your email address, your line, your you have a fashion line, send it out there so that people can copy maybe your number, anything.
Okay, I'm going to give out the email or Facebook address, which is www.facebook.com/L distinction. L is E-double-L-E. Distinction Designs. That's a Facebook address, and so you can get to see all our designs there and contact us wherever way you want to.
And have you like had some, customers, maybe people who are having parties and say, hey, I want you to design my dress? Does that work with you?
Oh yes, we've had like so many customers. For example, made the first collection some months back, August, and that collection has been completely sold. Added to that, we had to do a bridal dress for one of our clients and to take care of the bridal train too. So it's really an opportunity for us.
Right now, Cameroon, in Yaoundé, the trade fair, we call it Yafe, is always really an opportunity where people want to go and see what they can do for themselves. Are you planning to like maybe do something during this period as regards that?
Yeah, I am. I'm planning to do that.
Okay, you plan to bring out some dresses?
Dresses and bags, yeah, whatsoever it is we have. I'm just planning to make an exposition of it at the Yafe. Okay. So, hope to see you there.
I'll be glad to be there. I love to look good and I love to dress very well as well. Anyway, let me get last words from you, Betsy. Tell people what they should not do and what they should do as regards the fight against violence against children. Most of you might want to get a look right at the camera in front of you and tell people what they should know and what they shouldn't do.
Most people have always based on the fact that ignorance is the only thing that they know. That for the fact that they were not educated, we don't expect them to like behave the way we think. But I guess that with a little knowledge of the educative words of the children, you can make yourself educated even in your old age. And you avoid doing things that will hurt you. Because tarnishing the future of a child, you are held responsible for it. You'll be held accountable for it. So the future of children, they are the future leaders of tomorrow. And if Cameroon must emerge, the youth must emerge. And they cannot emerge if their dreams are not completely achieved. So to the people outside, I would like to tell them that holding up the dreams of the children is the greatest goal for every emerging country. Thank you.
Wow. That is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Betsy. Thank you so much. I believe that quite a number of people must have listened to what you have said and are going to change. And Elodia, last words to anyone who wants to do what you're doing.
I'm going to give you 3 main steps to go about this. The first thing is believe in yourself, believe in your passion, and believe in your dreams. That no matter what happens, you're going to keep it up and you're going to stand for it. The second thing is be committed and be focused. You need to be committed at all times. So even if the rain is falling on you and you're going down the train, you're still going to keep your head high and you're going to keep moving forward. And the third one is going to be love what you do. Whosoever it is that love what he or she does will always prosper and always go forward. So the 3 main things are just love what you do, be committed to it, and be passionate about what you do.
Oh my God. You've heard it from the ladies, from the girls, and from people who think that Cameroon is going to be much more better tomorrow if we all can be like them and of course reason like them. Betsy made us understood that the children are the future leaders of tomorrow and as such should be given time and the opportunity to express themselves in whatever way they can. And Elodia also made us understood that we should believe in ourselves so that we can be able to, develop our talent and come out the way God wants us to really portray ourselves out there. And from me to you guys, you also need to believe that there is no one that can do it more better than you can. Okay? There is no one that can do it more better than you can. You are the only one who understands what you can do from within. You are the only one that understands what you can say from within that can bring a change into the nation and into the world. And so you now want to keep encouraging yourself, even as a child, even as a youth, even as a parent, even as someone who made people think you don't have a place in the society. You alone believe in yourself, and you alone know what you can bring to the table. We have shared with you so many things. I was so blessed having these ladies here with me. Betsy, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. We wish you the best in your group, the best, and I hope someday you're going to be a minister. I pray so, because when I look at you, I see a future leader. I really pray that you move forward and the authorities of Cameroon really see what is in you. Thank you so much for coming. Stay blessed and have a safe journey back to Mamenda.
Thank you too.
Okay, and to you, Elodia, I hope to see your designs on the runways, annual fashions, car walk, name them. We hope to see you there. We wish you just the best. From the RTA television, we pray that you guys go and succeed in whatever you will be doing out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our show today. We hope you must have learned one or two things from us today here on the program. We are all youths, and what we are doing is to move the country forward and to take it to places. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned on more programs over the RTA television. Till we come your way again next week is bye-bye from us.